Welcome to the Binge. No roadmap, just a microphone, a curiosity problem, and whatever happens to be worth obsessing over this week. One episode it might be history, the next, something strange, overlooked, or quietly fascinating. Could be something big, could be something absurd, could be something you didn't know you cared about until now. There's no pattern here, no promise except this. If it's interesting, it's fair game. So, settle in. This is The Binge.
It's the Binge Podcast where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast. Come join us fast.
There's a claim. One of those weird, half-serious facts that floats around the edges of trivia nights and late-night internet rabbit holes. That April 11th, 1954 was the most boring day in human history. A day where nothing happened. No wars breaking out. No leaders assassinated. No scientific breakthroughs cracking the universe open. Just a blank. A dead zone. A historical shrug. And for some reason, people love that idea. They cling to it like it's comforting. Like somewhere in this long, chaotic mess of human existence, there was at least one day where everything just stopped. But that's not what happened. That's not how any of this works. Nothing happened is a lie we tell when we're overwhelmed by everything that did. It's what you say when you only measure reality by headlines, by noise, by spectacle, by the kind of events that come with dramatic music and bold font. History, as it's usually told, is addicted to volume. It only remembers the loudest moments in the room, the explosions, the declarations, the people who managed to carve their names into something permanent. Everything else? Discarded, ignored, filed away under irrelevant. But think about what gets lost in that process. On April 11th, 1954, somewhere, someone made a decision they didn't fully understand. Something small, harmless even. They took a job instead of another one. Said yes instead of no, or maybe they hesitated just long enough for something to pass them by. That moment doesn't get recorded. It doesn't feel important, but fast forward 10 years, 20, and suddenly that tiny decision is the root of everything that followed. A whole life bending around something that barely registered at the time. Multiply that by millions. That's what that boring day actually was. Not empty. Dense, packed with invisible turning points. There's this uncomfortable truth humming underneath all of this. The big moments, the ones we obsess over, are just the surface. They're the symptom, the visible crack after years of pressure building where nobody was looking. Every war has 1,000 quiet conversations about it. Every invention sits on top of years of failed ideas, half-formed thoughts, and people tinkering alone in rooms no one remembers. Every overnight success is built on a long stretch of days that felt exactly like nothing. Days like April 11th, 1954. Days where the machine keeps running, but nobody's paying attention. And then there's the guy, the data scientist, who actually tries to prove this. Tried to calculate the most boring day, which is already a strange thing to dedicate your brain to. He looked at births, deaths, notable events, ran it all through an algorithm like meaning could be quantified, like significance is something you can tally up on a spreadsheet. And the result? April 11th, 1954. Congratulations, we found it, the most boring day. But that raises a worse question. What kind of filter are we using where an entire day of human existence can come back as empty? What does that say about the system? About what we choose to record and what we quietly erase? Because if you follow that logic far enough, things start to unravel. If meaning only exists when it's documented, then most of your life doesn't count. Most of your thoughts? Gone. Most of your decisions? Irrelevant. Every weird instinct, every gut feeling, every almost choice that shaped who you are doesn't exist unless someone wrote it down, which is insane. It's completely insane. And yet, that's kind of how we treat reality. You've lived through your own April 11th, more than one. Days that felt like static. Wake up, do the thing, go through the motions, nothing sticks. If someone asks you what happened, you'd say, honestly, nothing. But that's not true. Something always happens. You just don't have the distance yet to see it. Maybe that was the day you almost quit something but didn't. Or almost said something but swallowed it. Or randomly stumbled into something that didn't matter, until much later when it suddenly did. Those are the days doing the real work, not the big cinematic moments, the quiet ones, the forgettable ones, the ones that don't look like anything until they become everything. So yeah, April 11th, 1954, the most boring day in history, except it wasn't boring, it was just invisible. It didn't announce itself, it didn't demand attention, didn't come back packaged as something important, it just existed, and kept everything moving forward in ways no one bothered to track. And that's the part that sticks. Not the idea that one day was empty, but the realization that we are probably surrounded by important moments all the time. We're just terrible at recognizing them, because they don't look important yet. They don't feel like anything. They don't come with a signal. There is no such thing as a day where nothing happens. Just days where nothing introduces itself properly. Days where the meaning is still loading, still forming, still waiting for you to catch up to it. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like and subscribe.
You know right now, got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. Right now, got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. Where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. Tune in right now, stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast.